Super BS
presents. I'm Brian. Nice talking to you guys. I'm super stoked that you guys agreed to do this. This is really, really cool.
Yeah, it's been a
yeah.
crazy few days, crazy week actually.
Yeah, sure, man. Whenever you get on Kotaku, like one of the most read blogs ever, it's bound to be insane.
Yeah,
If it's cool with you guys, I'm gonna jump right to it. Is that
Yeah.
nice? Real quick, if you guys mind saying your names.
So I'm Jimmy, the designer of Wild Heart.
Excellent. And
I'm Sam, one of the programmers there.
oh, cool, rad. And I'm Brian. You guys know who I am. Have you guys ever worked on any video games in the past?
So we're both at university in Falmouth doing like a digital games course. So like basically what you do on the course is like you all get in little like groups of 12 and then you just sort of like make games throughout the years and then you get marked on those games. And like Wild Heart is one of the games that we work together on basically.
So you guys finished that in just a school semester or a year or what?
Yeah, as the first year of the course, your main project is a lot smaller over the space of just one semester. But because this is one we made in the second year, we had from the start of the year from September till April, May to get it done and marked.
You guys finished that whole thing in just, what would that be, 9 months?
Yeah.
We did do a lot of work.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. Did you guys ever work in Unity before?
I hadn't like just from the start of the course is when I started using it, and I don't know about Sam.
Yeah, no, I think for most of us on the team, the 2 years that we've been there is most of our experience in the engine.
Oh, okay. So you just started Unity doing this, and then you pretty much in 9 months like banged this game out.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, there were some disasters in the first year. Like we learned some things from those.
I assume those aren't on itch or whatever. You can't find
No,
them.
they're hidden away in like the dark depths of the internet somewhere.
I totally understand, man. I don't know. You're always learning, but still, I mean, this is an awesome, like, kind of almost close to first effort since you guys are still in school. I've only played about 30 minutes myself. I think I just got a second party member, like I want to say, I have a fox, and do you get a wolf next or a badger? I've got him. He's running around next to me.
Yeah, the badger's the second one you pick up.
Yeah, I thought so because I got to the totem pole and I was just about to play more, and then I got the email. Hey, let's chat. Well, anyways, could you guys tell the people who are listening a little bit about Wild Heart?
We didn't sort of like come up with the idea of Wild Heart initially. Like basically, we were in a team of about 9, and half the team was split one way, and half the team was split the other way with what game to go with for our game this year. So like half wanted this like big open puzzle game where you use like elements to get through the level, and the other half wanted like a tactics ship game, like a ship game, naval combat game. And then like basically the design team and the art team couldn't agree, so we sort of mashed them together and then had the tactics game with the nature setting, and then that's sort of how Wild Heart came to be.
That's like excellent. I really, really love the aesthetic to it. It's really cool. Who was the artist part of your team as well, or did you guys have to outsource for that person?
Yeah, we because like the way the course is set up, we get to pick and choose a little bit, but we're mainly put into teams and separated into groups that for the most part are covered by our roles. So we all have a couple artists, a couple programmers, and they try to fill out so you have as many different skills across your team as possible.
Oh, so that's really, really cool. So is this like a video game school that you guys are going to, or is this like a video game course in a UK university?
Yeah, it's just the digital games course at Falmouth University in Cornwall, South England, Southwest.
Okay, yeah, okay. So actually, I should have asked that at the beginning. Where you guys from? We're all from the UK here, and I'm from California. Yeah, this is really cool. So your team is 12 people?
I think it's 9, and then we lost an audio person about halfway because like student financing reasons made him
Oh,
leave our
man.
team, which is kind of sucky. So the music's like a mix of stuff he did and stuff we got online, royalty free stuff.
Yeah, some of it's really, really great. Like I love that trailer song. Did you guys make that? Was that something you just found? Like
I'm afraid we didn't make that. No,
oh, it's okay. I also like the title screen song. Did you guys make that?
we did actually make that. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's cool. I mean, it's bound to happen. Like there's, you have a lot of people going on, especially I mean, I do a little bit of programming myself, and in my class where we made a game, there were like 3 of us and we could barely do like a text RPG in like a couple months. So, I mean, this is super incredible work. So, I'm really really impressed. What inspired you guys to make like this game though? Like what like are either of you guys big fans of tactical games, or what inspired you guys to do it?
At the time, I was pushing for a tactics game quite hard because I was playing Fire Emblem at the time. So
Which Fire Emblem?
Awakening.
Okay, cool. What
So I wanted to do a tactics game.
What about you, Sam? What's your were you big on the tactics, or were you okay if it was a puzzle game or a tactics game?
I was, as Jimmy said before, our other one was the like kind of open island light puzzle, and I think I was leaning towards that because I've been working more on the prototype for that game than the tactics naval battle,
Okay.
and I wasn't. I didn't mind. I don't think I was happy to work with either as long as we could come to a conclusion and actually start working on a main project.
Yeah, I mean it came together really really well. So I'm glad you guys did switch this. And I mean we'll get to more about that later, but I think the aesthetic and the tactics idea was really 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 smart, because you guys might have gotten lost in a wave of puzzle games if you would have had that approach. But I don't know what your end game was anyways.
It was kind of nice because like without throwing the university lecturer under the bus, he didn't really like, one of them didn't really like Wild Heart when we pitched it to them, and
Yeah.
the pitch was a sort of disaster. So
Wow.
it's kind of nice how well it's turned out after sort of being told it wasn't the right idea.
Yeah, I mean it really is a cool like game and idea. I am sure that's half of your guys' attention was just because people love tactics games and people love this really cool minimal art style. I mean, your artist did some incredible work.
Yeah, that ace.
What games inspired Wild Heart? I know you mentioned Fire Emblem. Have you guys played other tactical games that you guys really like?
I think it's not quite in the same realm, but we did very briefly look at the old Super Mario RPG.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Man. That's the best.
when we were first trying to put the combination of ideas together, we did briefly look at that as a way of moving through an overworld and having these battles pop up. We did have to limit it so that they weren't as random. We could make these encounters and have a couple per level, but that was the kind of style that we wanted to aim for, I think.
I mean, that's one of the best games, man. You're shooting for the stars right there. I like hearing that. What about you, Jimmy?
I mean, just sort of expanding on that. At one point, we had it so like the whole world was a grid, and then you'd like move your animal. You're gonna have like just moving on a grid throughout the entire game, and then we cut that down to just having grids in the battles, and I think that worked quite well. But other inspirations, I mean, for me, it was just Fire Emblem at the time. It was just like an impulsive pick, really.
Did you guys ever play Final Fantasy Tactics on PlayStation 1?
I know of it, but I haven't played it.
Okay, I just was wondering if that was a big inspiration, because I mean, it's very, I mean, it's like, it's not obviously the first, but I would say almost like a godfather of the popular tactical RPG genre, and that's what I got to play a little bit of this, but I didn't notice many RPG elements. Do they exist within the game?
I think when we first started playing it out, we were going to try and introduce a very basic level system.
Mhm.
But as over the first like couple of months, we realized this project was going to be way too big, and we weren't going to be able to fit that in time, or it would be not right.
And we quickly realized that balancing stuff with like increasing levels is a hell of a task, and with 6 months, it's not really feasible.
No, it's totally understandable. I mean, what you guys did in 6 months, I'm still amazed. So that's totally time-wise limiting. And you're right, balancing RPG mechanics are so difficult. But I was just curious because I saw that they had health meters and such, so I just wasn't sure if there was a point where they get stronger or how that works. Since I didn't get a chance to beat it, how many levels or stages or worlds are there in Wild Heart?
There's three like big maps for you to explore, and I think there's 9 creatures. So like the progression is just through picking up those creatures, basically.
Yeah, I love the little trailer of them all running around on the map, and it's awesome. Who made your trailer?
I did, actually.
You did? It did like Adobe Premiere or
in this thing called DaVinci Resolve. I haven't seen it around very much, but I got it because it was free, basically.
Okay. And you just save the video from the game and then just edit it and splice it together?
That sort of thing.
Oh wow, man, that probably took quite a bit of work. It really came out like super well. That's what really drew me to it. I saw the article and then I clicked on the trailer and it was really, really well done. So hey, this is something that a lot of my guys were wondering. What made you guys decide to go on the pay what you want business model?
Well, like basic. You go for it, Sam.
There's a couple issues in that. I think for me, it was I was still a little worried that there are some things that could go wrong. I know that it's very difficult to have it in a place where you know that nothing could go wrong, but I wanted to make sure that people would still play it, and if something did go wrong, know that it didn't cost them to have something go wrong with it in a way. And then people who did enjoy it enough could still feel that they could give some money towards us for it.
Yeah. And Jimmy?
Well, basically, just like when we're charging money, when we're charging a set price, there's like an expectation that it will actually work. And like the first like 50 copies or so that were downloaded, there were problems like riddled throughout those. Like I think the sound wasn't working in a lot of them. I think in your one actually it wasn't working as well. You mentioned, yeah, the Mac build as well. We didn't have up. There were quite a few problems we've had to fix these past few days, but the builds are pretty stable right now. Hopefully.
Oh, it's very stable. Yeah, I mean there was a couple sound issues here and there, but honestly, it wasn't like bad. I mean, I've bought games on Steam that have had similar issues. I have a friend who can't even play Undertale, and I bought it for him. So like,
really? Yeah. What was wrong with it?
The sound wasn't working at all in his copy. So
it sounds the best bit.
Yeah. So that actually brings me to my question. Have you guys played any games recently? Like on I don't know if you guys play console or PC more or
personally I've gotten back into Overwatch again. I played it a lot when it came out and I dipped away from it while at uni. But now that I've come out again, I've really gotten back into it.
That game is awesome. Who do you like maining as?
I played a lot of Mercy when it came out, and now that I've come back to it, I do really still like Mercy, but Ana is maybe my favorite.
Ana's great. I really am a Pharah person just because I love shooting rockets.
I'm a Pharah as well.
Yeah, just so much fun. Like you're just flying around the map the whole time shooting rockets. Jimmy, you mentioned Fire Emblem. Have you been playing any other games recently, or do you like? Guess your main go-to?
I've been sinking like 85 hours into Persona 5 recently.
It's a good game.
It's really good game. Yeah, it goes on a tad too long maybe, but I'm pushing through.
Yeah, when you're saying 85 hours and you're talking about a linear story RPG and you're saying you're not even done, yeah, it's too long. I had to drop off around 40 hours myself just because I couldn't. I'm back in school learning programming. I didn't have time to try to do Persona and create stuff. It's crazy. Like, you know, when you're programming, it takes so much work and so much time. Are you guys out of school then for good, or are you guys going back in the fall?
We're going back in like a month to work on like a third year game now. So we've got like some of the Wild Heart team with us in the third year, and we've sort of planned out what game that's going to be. And we're just this year, third year, we're going to spend a whole year working on this game.
Oh, that's awesome.
Hopefully that might lead somewhere, maybe.
I mean, I don't know. You've got a lot of stuff going on. But Sam, you were about to interject. Are you going back to school as well with Jimmy, or did you?
Yeah, we'll be in the same team for next year with a couple other people. The teams moved around a lot between the years, so it's like half of our team, half of another team that was working on another game from our course.
I'm sure a lot of the teams were impressed with what you guys made, so I'm pretty sure you probably got a couple people who are like, "Yeah, let's do something together next semester." I highly doubt all of them came out as polished as your guys' game did, so I
A
bet
lot
they
of
would
them.
rather.
A
What?
lot of them were really good. Like it's really nice to see how much people can create within that time.
Yeah.
I don't know if actually they are up on a site, but I think Falmouth is working to put a lot of the ones made this year and by the third years of the previous year, um, together on a site somewhere, and I will try and find that quickly.
Oh yeah, if you guys can find that, please like shoot us the link and I mean, I'm still new to all this stuff, but I'm posting on all the social media things that we have. Which I mean, this is kind of something to do at the end, but I want to ask you guys now because I never got a response. Do you guys have a social media site or anything? Because I mean, I'm sure with the amount of like recent interest in your games, like you probably have a lot of people follow you.
We've got like a Facebook page, but we haven't don't actually we don't have a Twitter.
A Facebook page. No one uses that anymore.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you guys should think about doing like an Instagram or Twitter or something because I think we have a Facebook page too, but I just link all the other ones to it and drop them to the Facebook. Never looked at it, so
Yeah. The issue with it is because we're moving into a new team next year, we're probably going to be dropping the Wild Heart, the Two Ravens page and stuff. So we weren't really sure what to do, whether we should like branch out with it or just keep it to that Facebook page and then move on with it next year.
Oh man, too bad. I think Two Ravens is a great like development studio name, and I don't know. It's always great to have an umbrella term to cover all of your stuff, just in case you look for it.
It's kind of sad that like this didn't come up next year when we were actually leaving uni, because we've had like some like offers and things, but like it's just not really the right time to do it unless we actually want to like leave uni and pursue it. But that's pretty risky.
That is a huge risk, and it might work out. I am still a big fan of like, hey, I dropped out of school and went back after I did music for a long time, and I'm glad I got a degree. I don't really use it, but I'm glad I actually stuck through it and like got the degree. So what are your guys' plans for Wild Heart? I know it was a uni project. Do you guys have any more plans though? Are you gonna patch it? Are you guys gonna release it on Steam, put it on any consoles? Hopefully Nintendo Switch, which I love.
We were talking about maybe putting it on Steam, but we're not really sure if that's the right thing to do since we've been giving it away for free up until now. And if we put it on Steam for like a 99p or whatever, we'll have to also make the Itch.io one 99p. So we're not really sure if that's fair for people that have bought it already.
Have you heard of a game called Cave Story?
Did that happen with Cave Story?
Cave Story was a freemiumware game that I just spent $30 for on my Nintendo Switch. But if I really, really wanted to play for free, I could find it like on the internet for free still.
Did they really release it for free to begin with?
That was in 2004. It was a free game. And then I want to say they first started charging for it with the Nintendo Wii version. I want to say
it was the one. Yeah.
So I mean, like you guys could do it. You don't have to, but I just think, I mean, maybe it's not even that important anymore, but with the deluge of games coming out on Steam, I don't think anyone's gonna turn an eye to it. Have you guys been following that at all? Like the Steam stuff? Like 2,700 games released last month after Steam Direct?
You go for I've been following it like slightly and just listening to like YouTubers talk about it and things. And I mean, it just releasing anything on Steam right now just seems just like you're just going to get lost into like the bin of Steam basically if you release anything, because I think I read that like your game will stay on the newly released thing for about like a day or two before it's just kicked off,
or an hour probably.
Yeah, probably even less. So I don't know. I don't think even if we put Wild Heart on there, I don't think it would take off like it has on Itch.
What do you guys think of Itch? This is actually my first use of it. I've heard of it, but I've never used Itch before.
I mean, it's got more freedom than Steam because you can like just upload it without paying the £100 fee to get it on there, and you can pretty easily change builds and things. Like we've gone through about 5 or 6 already, and patching and things. Yeah, I mean, I think it's like a service aimed at developers really. So for us, it's pretty decent.
Did you guys have any prior use to it? Like Sam, have you ever bought anything or played anything on Itch before this game?
No, joining the course a year or two ago was the first kind of like introduction to this like really small stuff. And I've had a look and I've played some games from itch before, but I've never like this is the first kind of like real involvement I've had with it.
Yeah, I also noticed like what you mentioned, Jimmy, about you being able to update really quick. I feel like I read a comment where someone was saying the Mac version wasn't working, and I would thought I was gonna have to run boot camp to play the game, and I played it like that day, the same day. Have you guys just been nonstop patching this game? Like, because I saw a Mac 1.0 up there, and people were saying the Mac one wasn't there, or didn't work, or whatever.
What like drew us into making the Mac version is that someone paid for a copy, and then they emailed me saying, I thought it was Mac. Like, do you not have a Mac version? So then, like that day, I think Sam went into the union, made the Mac version, and then we got it up at that night.
Oh, that's awesome. Sam, was that a lot of work? Do you have to, or was it just like a different exporting process, or how does that work?
Luckily, Unity is really good with porting to different platforms, but there were some issues that we ran into that I wasn't expecting. Like, I've never actually used a Mac before until the other day.
Oh, wow.
And I didn't realize that they don't have a natural right click. Like anywhere you press on the mouse is left click. So I had to rebind a lot of the controls to make it more smooth for Mac users.
Well,
like dialogue and stuff.
Yeah, a lot of modern, because I'm talking to you guys on an iMac right now. A lot of modern, sorry guys, I'm that one user. A lot of Macs nowadays, you can just set the right side of your mouse. But yeah, you're right. They don't have like a differentiated mouse click unless you buy a PC-enabled mouse, which, I don't think a lot of people are going to go out of their way to buy another mouse. Instead, just use the one that comes with it. So, hey, it's easy to export. It brings me back to question again. Why not Nintendo Switch? I'm sure you guys could sell a ton of copies. Just put it on there. I got one. I'll take it with me on the go. Play it.
I mean, I would love to, but I mean, we don't really know how to get it to like PlayStation or Xbox or anything, really. We just know PC.
But doesn't Unity have an exporting process for PlayStation and Xbox, though? Or
it has for consoles, but I'm not sure. Like with the Mac one, there are a couple of unexpected issues that comes up along with binding of controls. I think we would have to keep in mind when we were building it first that someone would be able to use a controller and stuff like that. So I'm not sure. It would be really cool, but I think because of our just like lack of experience at this point, I don't think that's going to be achieved.
I know, I understand. Because you have another project coming up in September, so you have one more month of relax. Okay, this actually is the big one, the big question that I think, I've been dancing around this whole time. How did this Kotaku article affect any of this stuff? And how long did it take between you guys putting this game up on itch and Kotaku finding out about it? Did you guys contact them?
I can get the analytics stuff up, actually, and have a quick look.
It was only really a couple of days after we had posted it up on itch, I think.
Yeah.
Did they find you? Did you guys have someone who contacted them?
I think I was just looking for Wild Heart on Google, and then I just saw the Kotaku article.
Yeah, I think they found us.
That is amazing. Itch probably has like a lot of games that are released weekly too, right?
Yeah, it's been pretty amazing because it's been hanging around at like the 8th spot on like the popularity and stuff. It's actually sinking away right now, but for a while it was.
I mean, it's still even like for several weeks or whatever. Nowadays that's a super impressive feat to have a game that's even in the top 100 popularity.
Yeah, it's been crazy. I honestly don't know how it's managed to gather.
Who do you remember if it was Heather or who found you guys?
I mean, yes. No one actually got in contact with us about it. They just did an article on it, and then we just found the article, and that was it.
You guys should contact them. I'm sure they'd love to talk with you guys. That's really, maybe I'm like being, naive, but I think that's really, really cool that they did that, and I think they'd love to hear from you, because that's them just choosing a game at random is, they're one of the top. I want to say they're the 4th top read or 3rd top read news, like video game news site, maybe even number 1 now. Mm-hmm. So
it's definitely something like we should consider. Yeah.
Was everybody on your team like super stoked about it? Like just like jumping like super excited the second that you guys like sent an email out or whatever you did to announce it?
We've got like a Facebook chat with like the team in it. It's just like it was just going nuts when we said about that. Just like constantly buzzing.
Yeah. Did it go from like 0 to 100 then in sales, like probably almost immediately? Because, like I said, I was drawn from that article. So
I think that day our views, like I've got it here that day, but the day before we had like 260 views, and then the day after we had 1,500.
oh
So
wow,
it really did boost it.
yeah, it's just such a cool thing. I think a lot of that has to do, man, with just the logo and the aesthetic. Like everybody's fan of Redwall, man. Everyone knows it. Everyone loves it. But no, that the animal like fighting thing, it's great. It's not super extra violent. And it's got a really peaceful feel to it. I think there's a lot of really cool things about it. And you guys made a really, really good choice.
Yeah, thanks. I mean, well, we were joking a lot about during the making it that it was like we didn't want to go for the Watership Down approach and go for like the more jolly, like Disney-ish look.
Yeah, for sure. There's enough games where it's just a guy shooting another guy or a guy with a sword doing, and those games are great too. But I just feel like they're a lot harder to stand out in a world where there's tons of those. I already asked if you guys have any plans after this, but after you guys finish uni, are you guys hopefully gonna, stay in the games industry, or what's the hope there? What's the plan if you can plan that far ahead? For you, Sam, we'll start with you.
I think that's everyone's, because a lot of us are there solely for like game development, regardless of the aspect, whether writing, art, programming and stuff. I think that's everyone's hope, is to someday like continue into the industry when they leave, and find like either create a new company or join an existing one. The uni at the moment does offer another program for our course once we've finished that allows us to start a team and try to work in a group to create another product after we've finished. It's more of the business side of things. It's like a master's business degree, like a business master's, and I think that's something to shoot for.
Yeah,
at least for most of us. And then if not, just try and hope to create something for ourselves.
How about you,
think,
Jimmy?
Yeah, like that scheme is really good. And I think there's also maybe the possibility of like, if we can get like a bunch of really devoted people, maybe try and starting in a studio ourselves. But there's like a lot to consider there. And I don't know the business side of it at all. So it would take a ton of research and things to like even consider that. But that may be a possibility.
Use that wild heart money, man. Hopefully it was not a whole bunch of people just downloading a game for free. That is always the risk with the pay what you want model. And I'm sure a lot of people did not pay.
Yeah.
So it's nice. It's been really nice to get it out there and have people that just experience what we were able to make. Like, it's really nice to just have people look at what you made.
Yo, yeah, it's excellent, man. And what you guys did is really special. I'm a big fan of that. I run a rock band and my group's name is Pack Wild Animals. So I'm a big animal fan. Like it's I just loved everything about it. And it was so cool. And it is a great experience to share that with other people. And I'm glad that you guys were able to like make such a huge impact, because this has been such a really, really cool endeavor that you guys have done, which, I want to ask, like, for anybody, I'm not sure how many people, but anybody who's listening who would like to get into the games industry, what advice would you give people like that? Because I mean, I know you guys aren't totally in the industry yourselves yet, but you kind of are on a very good upward trajectory. You're on like the best uni student trajectory I could imagine.
I think so doing something like this is, I'm not sure whether it's the best way, but I think it's a really good way to learn the basics. If you haven't touched, like a lot of us hadn't touched the engine before, and the course at the beginning went through with us, Unity, and now I think with the new students, they're also, if you want to, you can branch into Unreal. So you're not just limited to doing Unity stuff. And as well, they've got another course that does just programming that they're trying to mix in with those groups in case they're running low on programmers. This is a really good way to have the time and resources to try and create something and get that out there. And then with that kind of exposure, I guess you have that momentum and then the skills that you've learned through the process of making these games. And
do you know if they have this university anywhere else, or is it just a Southern UK university, or?
It's like an actual arts university in England, and like I think the games courses only started 2 years ago, but like already they've like expanded it into a full-on games academy at Falmouth University now. So there's multiple courses now going for it, and then they all sort of like cross over together, and you all can help one another out.
Oh, that's excellent. So I know, Sam, you're the lead programmer. Do you program primarily in Java, C#, C++? What language do you like?
C#. I haven't really had any experience in other languages. I've been trying to, as I've come out of uni this year, I've been trying to look at some other language just to get a more basic knowledge of like other, if I were to work in other engines and stuff.
Well, I mean, honestly, man, if you can learn one, it's just the syntax. Totally get the others. I've been learning several myself, and they're very, very similar in the end. Jimmy, what did you get this is something I really didn't get to ask you. You were the lead designer. What did you get to do on the game exactly, if you don't mind me asking? Exactly.
I designed like the combat and the animal abilities, statistics, like balancing all of that sort of thing. Wild Heart initially like was a board game. Like we made a paper prototype, and we basically like just kept testing it among the team, like going over like all picking our little animals and just moving them around the hexes on the grid and stuff, and just trying it like that. And it's just sort of grew from there, and then we added in the abilities and stuff in the main game.
Do you guys still have that board game?
It's actually in my pencil case, yeah.
Send me a picture of that, man. That would be really, really cool. That sounds awesome. Or if you have it on your Facebook, I'd love to see it.
It's just like a bunch of hexes, basically. It's just hexes with like Fox and Row written on it, and then you just move them around on it's just a blank hex grid. It's not that exciting.
It sounds awesome. Yeah, it's better. It's from the guy saying that his game's not that exciting when it is really, really cool. So anything else? I mean, you guys answered pretty much most of my questions, but I want to ask, is there anything else you guys want to add before you go? Anything that I mean, like we mentioned, you're now working on your stuff till next semester, but is there anything that you guys have been like in love with in the past, like a favorite game that you'd want to talk about or something? I know that you mentioned Fire Emblem, but I didn't know if you guys had something that really like drew you into gaming to begin with.
I mean, I don't have anything in particular to say, but like for like the game that drew me into gaming, that would be like probably. I mean, the first games console I got, which was more recent than I think now, is the PlayStation 2, and I had Time Splitters 2 for that. If you know that, which is a great game. Yeah. I played in the N64 with my friends back when I was really young, playing Smash and stuff like that.
That is one of our favorite consoles. If you ever get a chance to check out Super PS, you'll hear us talk about Nintendo 64 a lot.
It destroys friendships, that console.
It's great. It had, I think, once it had 200 games total on the console, and it was there were a lot of bad games. But Superman, I don't know if you guys ever heard of that Superman 64 game. The worst games ever made. Sam, what about you? What's if you have anything you want to add, great. But what's a game that got you into gaming?
I'm not sure if I have much else to like add properly to it, but to get into gaming, I had a PS1 a long time ago, and to this day, I still play a lot of the Spyro games. The first three
Those are great.
Spyro games are very good. And alongside those, when I was a kid, I really liked the Croc games.
Yep, great too.
I've tried to go back to them recently, and they don't quite hold up as well.
They're not good.
Sam, real quick about that. Now that Crash Bandicoot sold really well on PS4, I think it was in like the top 10 when it released. Yeah. Are you hoping for the Spyro remaster?
That would be the greatest thing. I would be so happy if they remade the first three.
I think we'll see it. I want to say Activision owns it, and with how good Crash did, I wouldn't be surprised. I bet it's worth their investment.
Even Crash, like I really liked those games. Well, I haven't had a chance to check out the new trilogy, but
Yeah, neither have I, which is very disappointing because I did like those games a lot as a kid too. There, to me, I was big Nintendo boy, so even though I had a PlayStation, I really loved like Super Mario 64 and the Banjo-Kazooies of the world. So
Yeah.
I enjoyed Crash Bandicoot, but just its linear progression made it less entertaining than like, oh, Super Mario 64, I'm gonna run around, catch a rabbit, and that rabbit's gonna give me a star, as in real life. So
It's kind of a shame it's kind of a shame there aren't so many 3D platformers anymore, because that's my favorite genre.
yeah, did you guys get a chance to check out Yooka-Laylee?
I've been meaning to, but I haven't had time.
Well, I first suggest you guys, when you get time and money, buy a Nintendo Switch and then wait for that. Wait for Yooka-Laylee on there. But yeah, Yooka-Laylee I played in. It's good. It reminds you of like, hey, these were better when I was younger, and they're maybe not. They don't hold up as well as I wish they did.
I've heard, like, I haven't checked it out myself, but I've heard a couple of people have like 1 or 2 issues with it
Yeah.
that are just based in that genre rather than like the problems with the game itself, kind of thing.
Yeah, I know they released a game, an indie game called Poi that came out earlier this year on Steam, and now it's on Xbox and PlayStation. And they got a game called Hat in Time. I don't know if you've all that. So they have a lot of these 3D platformer resurgence games coming out this year, and with Super Mario Odyssey, which will probably be great, that will come out too. But yeah, a lot of that stuff just doesn't. I mean, we've changed so much. Every game's an RPG now. Like you were mentioning when you guys were trying to figure out your leveling system, like I had to ask because 10 years ago that wouldn't even be a question, but now every game is an RPG. So it's weird to have games where you don't like level up and do all this stuff. So the platformers are hey, where's my stats, and why when I hit these guys am I not gaining 30 experience points, in Yooka-Laylee or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, no, it's been a pleasure talking to you guys. Do you guys have like a Twitter or something that they can follow you guys on? I know you mentioned a Facebook.
We do have Twitter.
Do we?
At 2 Ravens Gaming on Twitter.
2 Ravens Gaming, you said?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna at least I can friend you guys or whatever it is on Twitter, follow you now, because I was looking for you, but I typed in 2 Ravens and it was just a bunch of cooks or like some guy who cooked, and I don't know what the other guy did.
I wasn't aware we had a Twitter.
Now
We've got a Facebook though. We've definitely got a Facebook.
Is it 2 Ravens also gaming or just 2 Ravens?
Just 2 Ravens on Facebook.
Okay. Hey, well, hopefully you guys plan on coming out to the United States anytime soon?
Unfortunately not, I don't think.
No.
Come on! Well, you guys will be out here for E3 soon enough. So when you do, you're going to have to come by and visit. We're all down in that area, like south of LA.
Mm-hmm.
So this has been awesome, man. I'm really stoked that you guys decided to.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much for having us on.
What are you guys talking about? Thank you guys. Like, this is just a ton of fun. It's something me and my buddies like love doing, and we've been talking about it for a while. Like, hey, we love games, but don't make any games, and we really want to get into like, hey, what goes into making a game, and like how much time, and you guys were super cool and awesome, and you're gonna have to come down here though and check out Glitch City. I don't know if you guys heard of the game Hyperlight Drifter. Yeah. So there's a big complex in North Hollywood area where they rent it out just to like game developers. Or I don't know if it's rented out or invite only or whatever, but the guy who made Hyperlight Drifter worked on his game there, and it's just like a big warehouse where a whole bunch of developers work out of, and they make.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, so there's a lot of you guys got to come down here. But yeah, you guys are friends with us, Nate, over here at Super BS down South Orange County, and yeah, man, it's been awesome. If we really, really, really want to thank you guys for coming on. If you guys have anything else to add, I don't want to stop you before we close out. Favorite song recently from Justin Bieber? Go. Everybody loves it. Everybody's favorite Justin Bieber song. Okay, I gotta limit it to 10, guys. We don't have that much time. Well, Jimmy, Sam, I really appreciate having you guys on. Thanks again.
Thanks a lot.
I'm excited to hear what people say. A lot of people, when I posted this, were like, hey, this sounds really cool. So, all right, man. I will talk to you soon, and I'll let you know when it goes up. Peace.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. See ya. Bye. So that was my chat with Sam and Jimmy from 2 Ravens about their wonderful indie game, Wild Heart, which you can find on itch.io. It's pay what you want, so give it a shot. You can find it for PC or Mac, again, on itch.io, Wild Heart. If you enjoyed that, please shoot us an email. We're at superbscast@gmail.com. We're hoping to hear from you. You can find us wherever fine podcasts are sold, on iTunes or on podcast.com.
we really want to do more of this stuff in the future, so hopefully you'll be hearing from us pretty soon. Peace.
Oh, yeah.
That to us people that can feel things, it hurts.